has a million. Follow me. Okay. Party to 2. All the way down, sir. All the way down towards the car. Okay, follow the blue line. Look at it. Come on down, everybody. Party to 2. 2. Oh, sir, we slide over. 2, you're right here on the edge. Keep coming down. 2. Guys, keep going all the way down.
How many folks?
4. It says 4 here.
Party at 3 or 2? Party at 4.
Driver's name is Gabriel, and on behalf of MCA, we'd both like to welcome you to the world's famous Universal Studios tour. Before we get we're required to go over, first of all, there's no smoking on the tram or inside of any of the studio buildings, so if you are smoking, we ask that please to extinguish your cigarette or whatever it may be on the floor of the tram here. If you have any trash, please don't throw it over the side, just simply drop it on the floor. We'll pick that up for you later. You need to remain seated. Keep your arms and legs inside the tram at all times. If you have any children, we suggest that you seat them towards the center of the row, away from the tram gates for their own safety as well. And if you have to drop some over the side of the tram today, like a camera or a bird, or if you have an emergency cord located right above your head running down the center of the tram, just give a tug on that. We'll stop the tram for you as soon as possible and help you out. Now, throughout the tour, I'm going to be referring to your right side as my side of the tram, and to your left side as Gabriel's side of the tram. For example, on my side of the tram, we're coming up on this beautiful biggest building here. Odeon Cinemas. This is the largest indoor theater complex ever constructed in the world. It houses 18 theaters and can fit over 6,000 people in it at one time. And let me tell you, they use real butter on their popcorn. We're real excited about that here at Universal. Real quick show of hands. How many people, this is your first time to Universal Studios tour? Oh, good. Mine, too. So we should have fun surprises on the tour today. If you brought a camera today, you might want to make sure it's out of the case at all times, loaded with film, and keep the lens caps off because we have plenty of picture-taking opportunities on the tour today. I'm going to point out my favorite picture-taking spots as we go along, and so will the other tour guides will have as well. And you're allowed to take as many pictures uses. Now, I also suggest you get those flash attachments ready because we're going to be going through indoor as well as outdoor attractions. Now, you may not know this, but Universal Studios was founded way back in 1915 by a Carl Laemmle. Folks, if you look out to the driver's side of the tram, you want to take a picture of this tram here because, well, that's exactly what you look like. When you go home, you say, hey, that's what I look like. Of course, I don't look like Jason, the tour guide on the tram, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do. But Universal Studios was founded March 15th, 1915 to be exact. That was our grand opening date. And originally, when Carl Laemmle bought this lot, it was a chicken ranch, but he was so fascinated with the art of motion picture making, he decided to turn it into a movie studio. And back in the early days of the studio, we were famous for our silent westerns. But over 70 years later, after that grand opening in 1915, we're still producing blockbuster hits like Out of Africa, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and one of my favorite films, Back to the Future. But if you look out to my side of the tram here, you get your first picture taking opportunity on the tour today. This is absolutely a breathtaking view of the San Fernando Valley and our backlot here at Universal. We have over 500 different facades on that backlot, folks, and they're constructed to look like any part of the world. Now let's see, we have Rome, Europe, Spain, Mexico, Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco. Basically any town in the world we can construct right down there on our backlot. Well, once again, those are just facades, and a facade is simply a false front. That's all we need for exterior filming. A little bit later on the tour, we're going to cruise through that back lot. You're going to see some familiar sets such as Hill Valley, Back to the Future, Cabot Cove, Maine, from the hit CBS series Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury there. You're going to see Kingston Falls from the Warner Brothers production Gremlins, Mayfield from the Leave It to Beaver series, Fairville from all those Psycho movies, many other sets from shows such as Simon, Equalizer, and Knight Rider. You might also notice out in the distance, Burbank Studios there. That's home to Warner Brothers and Columbia Productions, and there's an interesting little story that goes along with that studio. The man who runs the studio back in World War II when when the Japanese, there was a big fright here on the southern coast here, whether the Japanese were going to come attack the southern coast of the States here. And so what the owner of Burbank Studios there, he was afraid that the Japanese would come and attack at nighttime, and they would mistake his studio there for Lockheed. Lockheed's a main manufacturer for different types of military equipment, and they're not too far from here. So what he did was he went up on top of all the buildings there and put big arrows and said Lockheed that way, and he lit them up at night. He didn't want anybody to bomb his studio there. So some interesting stories go along with there. But once again, you know, this is a working movie studio. We do our filming Monday through Friday. Fortunately, this is a Monday, so we do have some filming going on the lot today. We're filming at Soundstage number 12, a wine truck production called Be Prepared. That's going to be starring Shelley Long. We're also filming at Soundstage 37. Actually, I say we're videotaping at Soundstage 37, a production of the Hollywood Squares. You may be able to pick up some tickets for that a little bit later in the entertainment center when we drop you off at the end of the tour. But right now, if you look out towards the front of the channel, you'll see off to my side this A-Team van there. It's actually used in many episodes of the A-Team with Mr. T. I get good pictures who drive on by here. Alright folks, if you look out to the driver's side of the channel, you're going to see this huge building here. This is the Universal Amphitheater. Universal Studios is the only studio in the world that also has its own amphitheater. Not too long ago that was an open-air amphitheater, but then we put a roof on it. Now it fits 6,251 people. Now, of course, that means someone's got to go without a date. But we've had many people on that stage tonight. Leonard Skinner is going to be there. Last night we had, who was it last night? Four Tops, it's right, Four Tops. The night before that we had Howie Mandel. The week before that we had Hall & Oates. The week before that we had Steve Winwood. The week before that we had Whoopi Goldberg. We've had people musical on the back lot. We're going to explore the set from that a little bit later, but right now we're going to take you to our front lot where we have some production offices. We're also going to take you through a soundstage, get a good up close look at special. Whoa, wait a minute, what's this? This has got to be a joke. Why don't you just take the back road here? They're shooting at us. I think we better do what they say. It looks like, whoa, look out back there. Wow. I don't know what to say here. I guess it looks like we're going inside the Cylon battle cruiser now. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, folks, but you want to get those cameras out, set them to flash. Now, we may need those pictures for evidence if we ever escape from here.
And you are now under mine.
Well, yeah, but what are you going to do with us?
You will be vaporized in 30 seconds.
Vaporized?
Activate the death beams.
Death beams? Well, I like the sound. Now, we better get out of here.
Human. Escape is impossible.
I think I'm going to shut up.
Unauthorized entry. Who dares defy the imperious leader? Captain Apollo. Origin. Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, इनकी है Battlestar Galactica.
Terminate him and destroy the humans.
In the name of the Federation, I demand the release of the humans.
Apollo, you will not leave this ship alive. Annihilate him.
Film almost entirely inside of a soundstage. Now, if we do that, excuse me, we do that so we can have better control of the lighting, the weather, and the sound. As we come down this hill here, you look out to my side of the tram, you're going to see these gray buildings with the tan trim. And these are our sound stages here at Universal. We have 35 sound stages, but they're numbered from 1 to 44. Now, certain numbers like 7 and 13 have been omitted for superstitious reasons there. We're going to look at the interior scenes for our motion pictures such as Soundstage 12, as soon be prepared today with Shelley Long, as well as our videotape productions like Soundstage 37 is filming our videotaping the Hollywood Squares today. So almost all 35 of these sound stages are in constant use around the year. Well, right now, folks, to get those cameras out, I want to point them towards my side of the tram to get your first picture-taking opportunity of an actual live set here at Universal. Now, what we're going to be passing here is the old Victoria Mansion. Now, it's been here for many years, way before I became a tour guide, because it's the second oldest structure on the line. It was built back in 1916. I get good pictures when drive by. It's been featured in many productions, many motion pictures. So you get a good picture taken on. Whoa, wait a minute. The house is on fire. We're going to call the fire department. Oh, folks, don't worry. I mean, those flames are real, but the house will never burn down. So you come around the other side, you'll see exactly why. It's just a facade. Now, once again, a facade is simply a false front, and this is all we need for exterior filming. Now, what we do is we film the actor. The actor's going through the front door of this house, then we switch to the inside of a soundstage where we have all the interior scenes, and then when we edit it all together in post-production, it looks like one continuous scene on a big screen. But right now, we're going to take you through our makeup and wardrobe departments. This is where an actor or an actress would start his or her day here at Universal. A lot of actors and actresses, and makeup artists, producers, writers, directors, many other different people working in these offices up ahead. So I'm going to get out the microphone for just a few moments as a courtesy to all of them. Yeah, we're now exiting the quiet zone right now. We're about to embark on a very interesting part of the tour today, folks. A journey to the special effects stage presented by the Eastman Kodak Company. We're going to be getting off the tram for approximately 45 minutes, but before we do that, there's a few rules, or actually just one rule that you have to remember. It's very important. That is to take all of your personal belongings with you, because we will not be returning to this same tram. So you want to make sure you have all your personal belongings with you. And we're going to stop the tram up ahead here. We're going to open up the gates on the driver's side of the tram. I want you to exit the tram, come towards the front of the tram, and we're going to be joining Kim's group right under the gray awning. Now that's Kim's group right over there. Once again, you want to make sure you have all your personal belongings with you, and we're going to join Kim's group right under the gray awning towards the front of the tram here.
Real nice in the mist. Oh, that's, yeah, saving all the grillers. Thank you. That's maybe reason maybe on this side.
This will be the only opportunity on the tour today, and if you need any other flash or any other film or other supplies, you can go under the burgundy awning to your left under the Kodak booth. You can get some goodies. We have gummy bears, waffles, some candy over there. And if any time you guys go to one of these two places, you come out here and we're not here, we're not in the preview center, you're lost. You're lost. Don't worry about it. Don't be embarrassed. Just go to the white booth right in the center. Let them know that you were Kim and Mike. They'll tell you exactly where we are. Then when we go inside, you guys will have a great picture, a great opportunity to take lots of pictures. But in each set, there's a couple screens. You don't want to take a picture of a screen because your film, it simply won't come out. Your flash will kind of go back right into the camera and there'll be a big white blob. that will be your picture. So you can take many pictures on the stage, though, just to let you guys know. Well, Mike, it looks like we're ready to go in.
Okay.
Everyone follow Mike right inside the preview center.
Hi. I know, right?
Huh? What I have?
Make sure. Okay, it looks like we almost got everyone in here. Just keep on coming right in here. We're all waiting for you here. Okay, great. Looks like we almost got everyone in here. Almost got everyone in here. Okay, great. Well, Kim and I would like to welcome you all to the Preview Center presented by Kodak Video Products. And while you're here at Universal Studios today, there's many things to expect to see on the front lot, the back lot as well. And here to tell us a little bit more about those things is a star from the TV series Knight Rider, Mr. David Hasselhoff. Take it away, man.
Hi, I'm David Hasselhoff, and welcome to Universal Studios. I'm here at Universal's Preview Center to give you a brief glimpse of what you'll be seeing when your tram takes you into the heart of the production studio. You know, by visiting Universal Studios, you are participating in a tradition that goes back over 70 years. In 1915, when Carl Laemmle started Universal, he was convinced that motion pictures had a big future. He enjoyed watching people make movies so much, he put up bleachers and invited folks to come out for a first-hand look at the making of flickers. Motion pictures in those days were silent, so having an audience on hand was fun for the performers. The crowd would cheer the heroes, boo the villains. But when the sound came in, sound stages went up, and the audience went out. And Universal went on to become the home of some of the most famous movies of all time. Well, by 1964, Universal had become a leading source of the next entertainment market, television. In that year, the studio invited the public back for a look behind the scenes of movie and TV magic. Since then, the Universal Studio Tour has expanded to include all the amazing sights you'll see today. When you
Just sit right over by him. We don't want to see any bench space. So everyone at Kim and Mike's group, you guys can keep moving all the way down to the person to your left. Sit real close to them. Mike? Okay, everyone, just keep moving all the way down to your left. You guys, we have a top row up there. We have a front row.
Where's Libby? I'm here. Oh, hi.
Okay, everyone. Oh, in the front row, just slide all the way down. Well, you might want to stand. You get there a little bit faster. Sit close to the person to your left. We have a front row right here. If any of you guys want to come in the front, just move all the way down to the person to your left. In the top row, can you guys slide down a little bit more? We've got 300 people who want to see our show today. Great. Okay, for those of you who don't understand English, you guys can look up here. Oh, but then again, you can't understand me telling you this. Over with. Okay, everyone, just slide down real close to the person to your left. Okay, we're all set over here. Actually, in the top row, can you guys slide over a little bit more? Okay, that's okay. Okay, we can just get started in just a second. As soon as everyone's seated. Okay, you guys can just find the seats on one of these rows. Watch out for the curtain. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Universal Studios, Eastman Kodak Company, Mike and myself, I'd like to welcome you all to stage number 32. As you can see, the stage has been specially outfitted to show show you all something about one of the most interesting aspects of filmmaking, and that, of course, is special effects.
Okay, everyone settle, please. This is picture. Are you all right? Rolling.
Marker. Action. Hello, I'm Robert Wagner. Welcome to the special effects stage. Universal Studios has asked us to take you behind the scenes, show you what we do behind the lights and cameras to make the fantastic effects you see in motion pictures and on television look so realistic. During the next few minutes, we will take you into the workshop of some of the most famous technicians and movie-making geniuses of all times to show you their secrets. Ready, fellas? Here you will see how the spectacular special effects of the cinema are actually created. Everything you'll be seeing and doing here involves the authentic processes which motion picture artists and technicians use to create magic. Magic that makes you walk out of a movie theater and ask,
Kathy, what are you playing? A card game. A card game? Well, you guys, can she be playing a card game without a full deck? Maybe not, I don't think so. Well, let's see how this effect can be easily ruined. Kathy, why don't you take 2 cards in your hands and hold your hands way out to your side. Like 1 card in each hand. Hold your hands out, hold your arms out. Everyone, watch the center screen. Watch the center screen. On the count of 3, drop those cards. 1, 2, 3. And there they go, right to the wall. Let's have a nice round of applause for Kathy for helping us out today. Hanging around. She'll be there for about 3 more hours. This effect was greatly improved for the 1919 film When the Clouds Roll By with Douglas Fairbanks. Fairbanks built a room that could rotate 360 degrees. He created the illusion that the room was standing still, but actually Fairbanks was running in place and the room was moving around him. It was again used in 1951 for MGM's Royal Wedding, starring the dynamic Fred Astaire. Kids, don't try this at home. He's a professional. And Stanley Kubrick created this fascinating scene for the classic 2001 A Space Odyssey by rotating the camera and the set together.
in 1925, an adventure film called Lost World introduced.
We create the illusion of spaceships flying through the universe. In motion control, the model never moves. The camera does. As you can see, a computerized camera is now moving the length of the ship against a black background. By adding a field of stars, we now create the illusion of the ship flying through space. Demonstration complete.
Thank you so much, Hal. I'd also like to thank MGM for allowing us to use this very nice spaceship right up there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one of 2010's most spectacular effects involved live actors in a spacewalk. Well, we're going to recreate that exciting sequence right here. But first of all, we need that all-important element, the live actor. Astronaut. Well, Susan's in back. She'll be the American astronaut. And by using state-of-the-art television equipment, we'll combine them with background footage and scenes from the movie to create a spacewalk sequence live before your eyes. Here's the setup for the scene you are all about to see. Our astronauts have arrived in the spaceship Leonov and have established an orbit around Jupiter, where some very strange things are happening. Their mission is to reach the other ship to see why how systems here have shut down. And to do that, they'll perform a simple spacewalk. Watch your monitors right in front, lights, camera, and action!
Orbit established. Prepare to engage mission. Colonel Orlovsky, come in. Colonel, are you ready?
I don't think I want to go through with this.
You don't have any choice. Stand by. I'm engaging the doors. Orlovsky, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Officer Colonel, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I hear you. Do not worry. And most of all, do not look down.
Orlovsky? Colonel, look ahead of you. Look at Orlovsky.
Have no fearful now. There is nowhere to fall.
Nowhere to fall. Right. All right, gentlemen, we've got a problem. You better pick up some speed and get to Discovery. There's a moving object and it's coming your way.
There! Meteor, get close! Hurry! Hurry! I'm drifting!
What's going on out there? Report!
It's Corona! He's been thrown by the meteor! He's moving away from me!
Direction!
Towards Jupiter! He's moving into the gravitational field! I'm going after him!
Orlovsky, don't jeopardize the mission. If you're caught in the pool, you'll both...
I realize the risks. Hang on! Let's get back to the ship.
Yeah. No place to fall, huh?
Okay, so I lied.
Get to the ship! Hurry! Something's going on out there! Oh my God! It's Jupiter. It's imploding on itself! Get to the ship! Hurry! We've got to get out of here!
Well, let me tell you, folks, that Susan is one brave woman to go out into space with a hole in her seat of her pants here. I know. Well, looks like you're going to make it. Let's have a big round of applause for Rob and Susan there, folks. That was absolutely incredible. Okay, folks, once again, before we get started, everybody, the fourth, the final car, you hear me over your own speakers, just give me a wave right out here. Okay, great, thanks a lot. Okay, well, welcome back aboard the tram, everybody. Once again, my name is Mike. I'll be your tour guide for the second, possibly the last portion of your tour today. Our driver's name is Don. And once again, we got to go over those safety rules real quick. First of all, there's no smoking on the tram, so if you are smoking, please extinguish whatever it may be on the floor of the tram. If you have any trash, just throw it on the floor. We'll pick that up for you later. You need to remain seated. Keep those arms and legs tied on the tram at all times. If you have an emergency, just look up above your head on the driver's side of the tram, pull on the emergency cord, and we'll stop the tram for you as soon as possible. But right now, we're entering the wonderful little world of props, and a prop could be anything on a set that isn't nailed down. And that can range from a paper clip and a pencil all the way up to a grand piano and a huge piece of furniture. As we cruise on through the property warehouse here and take a look around you, you may notice something from a major motion picture or television show that you like. And our property warehouse here is the largest in the industry. Covers a complete acre of the lot and fits over 5 million different props inside that building. Over 5 million different props, 200,000 of those are just books. Okay, folks, the reason why I got off the microphone there, if you looked off to the driver's side of the tram, saw those flashing red lights, that was telling me that they're videotaping the Hollywood Squares with John Davidson right now. Had to get off the microphone so my voice didn't go over the soundtrack of the videotape there. But right now, if you look out to my side of the tram, you're going to see building number 480 here. That's what we call our technical building, and we house many of our special departments there, such as our special effects departments, and the ones who are in charge of all the explosives on the set. Also, our mill is located there, and on top of the floor of those buildings, we have our art directing departments. That's where they design the sets. We don't just design sets here, we also design props, and we're also known for redesigning. For example, this is where we redesigned the computerized kit car from the hit TV series Knight Rider. Going off to the driver's side of the tram, you're going to see a kit car. It's that black Trans Am parked right next to the light pole there. I don't want to shatter everybody's dreams or anything, but that's actually one of 12 kit cars that we have here at Universal. And we have a different kit car for different jobs, and that one was used for stunts, and another one that was used for close-ups, and we actually had a remote-controlled kit car that was used for scenes where there were no driver in the seat. The kit car is what we call a picture car. Picture car, by definition, is any vehicle that you see on the screen, and this white warehouse off to my side of the tram is where we keep all the picture cars, but you might also recognize that from the motion picture Scarface, starring Al Pacino. Also on the driver's side of the tram, that 76 gas station was used in Spokane Abandoned with Pro Reynolds. But if you look out to my side of the tram here, you get your first view of some of the facades on the back lot. Moving into the back lot right now, and these buildings may appear to be made out of brick and stone, but actually they're made out of foam rubber, plywood, plaster, shaken wire, many other different substances, anything but brick and stone though. And they look a little run down right now. That's because we don't do any maintenance on the sets until we go into production. That's when the set dresser comes out and dresses the set. When the production's over, they come out and strike the set. We purposely keep it looking bare so that when a set dresser comes out to survey it, they're not influenced by anything that was done to it before. And right here on my side of the tram, this is Old Chicago from The Sting with Robert Redford and Paul Newman. Also, Michael Jackson was just recently on that street filming a music video called Smooth Criminal. I want you to keep an eye out on MTV for that one. But let me tell you, if you're cruising down this street at 88 miles per hour in a DeLorean sports car equipped with a flux capacitor, have you might just go Back to the Future. We're moving into Hill Valley from Back to the Future right now. Look out to my side of the tram, you're going to see that turquoise diner where Michael J. Fox met his father, played by Crispin Glover. And off to the driver's side of the tram, you're going to see the courthouse where the clock tower was. Now, you notice that the clock tower is missing right now. That's because we have it in storage right now. It's just a prop. But we'll be taking it back out in the next couple of months when we start filming Back to the Future 2. Now, that's once again by starring Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, Crispin Glover, Leah Thompson. This is also Kingston Falls from the Warner Brothers production Gremlins. It's also Mayfield from the Leave It to Beaver series. And Gregory Peck defended his client in that courthouse there in the classic film To Kill a Mockingbird here at Universal. And you might remember Robert Preston leading the 76 trombones out of that courthouse around that square in a Warner Brothers production, The Music Man. Now, once again, these are all facades that we create a city sequence out of, but sometimes we have to build a city inside of a soundstage. That's exactly what we've done right here. We're about to enter the second largest soundstage in the world, so get those cameras out, set them to flash. I understand there's some strange things going on inside here, so please keep your arms and legs inside the tram at all times.
Latest word just in. The path of destruction continues east, causing thousands to flee their homes. Police admit they are powerless to stop the enraged beast, but military units are rushing to the scene. The beast was last sighted near the 200 block of Old Fulton Avenue. Now, live coverage on the scene. Our top reporter, Kelly King. Kelly?
Thank you, Senator. We're now hovering above the wreckage of a crushed L train. The helicopter beside us is searching for... Wait! There's a tramload of people down there. We've got to go down and order them. Attention, people on the track. You are in danger.
survives 12 lunatic show here at Universal Studios. King Kong is the largest animated creature ever built. He stands over 30 feet tall. He weighs over 13,000 pounds. 600 pounds of that is just hair. Everybody get a little bit of breath on that guy? Bananas. King Kong made his movie debut back in 1933, with Fay Ray, but since then, in 1976, he came back with Jessica Lange. Since then, Jessica Lange's gone on to become a star in her own right. As a matter of fact, she has her own production houses right here in the studio a lot, along with Ron Howard, Steven Spielberg, Madonna, Don Johnson, Robert Redford, many other famous people that have production houses here on the lot. Matter of fact, if you're a Robert Redford fan, you might recognize this great building on my side of the tram here. That was the art gallery opening scenes for Legal Eagles with Robert Redford, Gerald Hanna, and Deborah Winger. You might remember the building was on fire in the beginning of that film and the end as well. And also this brown bank on my side of the tram. You might remember Clint Eastwood playing Dirty Harry. Foiled those bank robbers right in front of that bank when he was eating a hot dog down the street. Saw bank robbery in progress. Came out here and made everybody's day. And also the great church on my side of the tram right next to the brown bank is where Elvis Presley sang to Mary Tyler Moore in front of the steps of that church in a change of habit. Now we call this street New York Street, and although we call it New York Street, we can use it as any metropolitan area we want. Last year we dressed it as Seattle for the motion picture Harry and the Hendersons with John Lithgow. That's where they had that big dumpster chase scene down this street. We also used it in many episodes of Ironside, Kojak, Columbo. We used it as Los Angeles, the motion picture Earthquake, and we also used it as Old Chicago and the Sting and the Blues Brothers. How many people here have seen the motion picture Earthquake? Quick show of hands. A lot of people. Okay, well, we had a blooper in that film. You remember when we had the actual quake, people were running up and down the street. There were a bunch of extras. We had people on the tops of these facades throwing styrofoam pieces of building at them now. These styrofoam pieces of building didn't weigh very much, so this one piece of building hits this lady on the head. She didn't even feel it, and she kept right on running. And that made it past the editor and onto the film. So if you rent that, you'll be able to see that there. Hits her right on the head. She keeps right on running. But of course, if you were to leave the real New York City, you'd probably go across one of their famous bridges. Here at Universal, we have our own famous bridge. It's right here on my side of the tram. It's famous because of its age. It's the oldest structure on the line. It was built back in 1915 when Carl Woodman founded the studio. We're going to take you across that bridge. Yeah, we're going to take you across that bridge right now so you get a good picture-taking opportunity on my side. Wait a minute. Sounds a little creaky, Don. Keep me straight. You're doing it. I don't know. This doesn't look good. Well, don't worry if you hear any creaky noises, folks. They supposedly fixed this bridge. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I don't like this. Hey, man, it's falling apart, Don. Everybody with big red cars, look out back there. Well, looks like everybody's taking the first car. Second car, it's okay, third car's okay, fourth. Wait a minute, Tom, we lost the fifth car. Okay. Well, folks, you might have recognized that bridge wasn't built back in 1915, so a little white lie there. It's newer than that. We built it for an episode of The $6 Million Man. Now, you may remember Steve Austin chasing Bigfoot across that bridge. I also remember Lindsay Wagner playing the bionic woman because, well, she also chased Bigfoot across that bridge. We also used it for an episode of Voyager starring John Eric Exum. You might notice that we have a lot of trees and shrubbery around the bridge, and we purposely put those trees there so that we can give off the illusion that the bridge could be anywhere in the world. Now, if we added some more trees, maybe we could make it look like a jungle, perhaps. Or if we took some of those trees and bushes out, maybe a mountain or a barren field. But that's all the magic of our greenery department here at Universal. As we come up to the top of this hill, you look up to the driver's side of the tram, you're going to see the greenery department down at the bottom of the hill there. Very unique because they house over 25,000 different types of plants, trees, and bushes. Now what they do is they plant them in big pots or they nail them to platforms. That way we can easily move them from one set to the next. And quite often the leaves on the trees will turn yellow or brown because of the hot studio lights beating down on them. When that happens, folks, all we do is we spray them with a little bit of green vegetable dye. They look like brand new, no problem. And for filming a forest fire scene, we want the trees to look like they're charred, so we spray them with a little bit of black spray paint, no problem. And if the leaves ever fall off the trees, well, we do it any good gardener will do. We'll staple them right back on there. But if you look past the greenery department, you'll see New York Street out in the distance. You'll notice a series of telephone poles with a structure on top of them. That's a huge tarp. We can drape that tarp across New York Street and down the sides, and that enables us to film nighttime scenes right here in the middle of the day at Universal. In fact, we did that in the Orion production Streets of Fire. Another interesting thing to know is that we could poke holes in the top of that tarp, and hey, they look like stars on the silver screen. If you look out to my side of the tram, we're going to see what we call Prop Plaza here at Universal. It's usually used as a brief rest stop on the tour. We're going to be be bypassing that part of the tour at this particular time in the evening so we can get you all back into the entertainment center in time to catch our 5 live shows and get home before it's 11 o'clock at night or what have you. Get some good pictures when we drive on by here, folks. And you see we have a lot of props here. They're using Land of the Giants, Pebble Shaky Man, Pebble Shaky Woman. Also, that A-Team there is using many episodes of the A-Team, that van there. Mr. T, it's built on a special hydraulic system, so anybody can lift it there.
دول بيشيلوها من ناحية
Okay. Right down over cruising down here, folks, is what we call Old Pine Tree Road. It's, imagine, if you will, Maximilian Schell skiing down this road. That's exactly what he did in the motion picture Counterpoint. As you probably know, we don't get a lot of snow here in Southern California. This weather certainly proves that. So we have to produce a fake snow material. We use a polyethylene material. It's very similar to the dry clean bags you might get from the dry cleaner. We pound it. That makes it turn white. Then we cut it into 3 different sizes, drop it from the sky, and it falls in a very natural way. That's just one of the many different ways to create different weather effects here. Of course, in the early days of the studio, when we wanted to create snow, we didn't do it so technically. What we used was cornflakes. We just spray paint them white there, throw them down on the ground. Actually, that was a neat effect because every time the actors would walk on it, it sounded like real snow. It's just a pain to clean up there, so they decided to go with the polyethylene material. Also, if you look off towards my side of the tram on this hill, you're going to see a plane wreck up there. I was actually using an episode of the A-Team with Mr. T as well. That's a good example of one of our action television series here at Universal. Of course, one of our most recent action TV series is Miami Vice with Don Johnson, Philip Michael Thomas. The interesting thing to know about that show is that at any given time, they can have anywhere from 4 to 11 editors on the crew of that show. Now, normally a show like the A-Team here would have 1 editor. Miami Vice has 4 to 11. Producer Michael Mann says that's very important. He calls them all separate but equal. Now, what they do is they have a different editor edit a different show each week. That way they all have a different style and a different flavor about them. And you're going to find out throughout the tour when you watch movies from now on that the editor plays a very important part on whether production is going to be successful or not. Very important instrument here at Universal Studios. A good example of this is Vera Miles, the editor, not to be mistaken with Vera Miles, the actress. Vera Miles, the editor, she edited the motion picture Jaws. I remember that. It's directed by Steven Spielberg, one of his big directorial debuts. He had a problem with that production because, well, he spent a little bit too much money. He went a little bit over his head there. Shot way too much film. He had so much film, he didn't know what to do with it. So he handed it over to Vera Miles. She edited it into one very brilliant, coherent sequence that you saw on the screen there. She actually won an Academy Award for that editing. So as you can see, the editor plays a very important part here. If you look above your heads, folks, on either side of the tram, you're going to see these mini billboards. These are some of our current productions here at Universal, also some of our upcoming productions. I see we have the Morocco Beanfield War. That was directed by Robert Redford. It's been out in current release for several months now. If you're a Robert Redford fan, this is his first directorial debut since his Academy Award for the role, and we spray painted the makeup on their faces. So we're heading into Old Mexico, and some idiot told me there was a 50-50 chance of rain. I don't know what they were talking about. Wait a minute. Well, I guess that's what they meant by 50-50 chance of rain. It's raining on the driver's side of the tram, but it's still dry on my side. Well, in case they eventually have flash floods out here, no problem today, but just in case, keep those cameras aimed towards the hill on the driver's side of the tram. Whoa, it's a flash flood. Everybody look out, the third car. And then we're going to lose a gun. Whoa! Whoa! Oh, that's serious stuff there. Whoa, watch out for that tree! Wow! Hey, what's the experience in here, folks, in another special effect car? the flash flood. We used the same effect in the motion picture The River, starring Mel Gibson and Sissy Spacek. We created this flood by dumping 10,000 gallons of water from the top of that hill right towards all you in the second and third car, I should say, back then. I hope everybody's drawing. That tree there is controlled by hydraulics, and the rain that you see here is another weather effect that we create here at Universal. It's done by sprinklers on tops of the buildings. They also shoot the water straight up in the air so it falls in a very natural way, just like the snow. Now you're going to be able to see this part of the back lot in the upcoming production Fletch 2. That's going to be the sequel to Fletch, starring Chevy Chase, Julianne Phillips, Lee Ermey. There's going to be a big arc, Noah's Ark, right here in the middle of the flash flood area. You'll also be able to see the Adventures of Conan, a Short Social Spectacular show in the Entertainment Center in Fletch 2 as well. So check that out. That'll be coming out in spring 1989. They're in post-production of that motion picture right now. But speaking of Chevy Chase, you're moving farther into Old Mexico, and you might recognize this part of the back lot from the Orion production, The Three Amigos, starring Chevy Chase, Martin Short, and Steve Martin. Also on the driver's side of the tram, these buildings were used as Old Jerusalem in the TV miniseries Masada, Peter Strauss and Peter O'Toole. And we also used this part of the back lot for an episode of Amazing Stories called Alamo Joe. Now in that episode, Job, the boy, was transported from the Alamo back to a modern Texas. Well, we're going to go to Texas right now. The only problem is it's not so modern. If you look out to my side of the tram, you're going to see that livery stable right there towards the front of the tram here. You might remember W.C. Fields. He was about to be hung by the townspeople. Mae West came in, shot those ropes down, saving his life, and My Little Chickadee. We filmed that right there inside that livery stable here at Universal. Matter of fact, if you look up in there onto the right-hand side, you can still see the actual rope that was used in that motion picture that's still hanging in there. We never bothered to take it down. We're kind of lazy here at Universal. Right now, we're about to enter what we call 6 Points, Texas. Now, we call it that because as we come in here, you'll notice that we have 6 different western roads, and they all converge into this central area here. Now, back in the early days of the studio, we could film 6 different Western films at a time, one on each street, because, of course, they were silent films. So we'd make each street into its own little town with its own saloon, its own bank, its own police station there. And, why don't you just listen over there, and he'll tell you exactly what I was just talking with you. What we would do is Carl Lemley, the founder of Universal, would erect bleachers right here in the central area and invite the public to come in and watch their favorite Western being filmed. Now, for only 25 cents, folks, they get that, 25 cents. They could sit up there in those bleachers. That would get them a box lunch, and they could cheer their heroes and boo their villains. That was actually very nice for the actors and the actresses back then, mostly stage actors. They weren't used to working without an audience. It really helped out their performance. Many stars such as Kim Maynard, Tom Mix, Audie Murphy, Andy Devine, Hoop Gibson, Clint Eastwood, and the Duke himself, John Wayne, have all graced these streets with their footsteps. We filmed many TV series here like yeah, it's coming out, just slowly but surely. Wagon Train, Larrabee, Alias Smith and Jones of Virginia, all filmed right here in 6 Points, Texas. You want to take a picture of this lot, this part of the lot, because it's supposedly the most photographed area in the entire world, if you can believe that. I realize it looks like a modern town right now, but in order to make it into a genuine old Western town, all we do is throw some dirt on this asphalt road here, throw some wooden planks on the sidewalk, throw up a few hitching posts, and hey, you got yourself a genuine Western town. In fact, we did that last year for an episode of Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury. It's very convincing when we do that. Now, if you look out to my side of the tram, you're going to see this thrift store right over here. That's what we call an interior-exterior set. It's not just a facade. That means we can actually do some filming inside. Very little, but we can do some. And that way you can see a cowboy going in there, and you can see him inside there, and you can see out the window 6 Points, Texas in the distance. A good example of an interior-exterior set is in Back to the Future, that turquoise diner we passed. You might remember Michael J. Fox. He walks in there, and while he's in there, you can see out the window Hill Valley and all the action taking place in Hill Valley right out the window there. And that's a good example of an interior-exterior set. Now, suppose we wanted to throw a cowboy through one of these windows. What we would do is replace these glass frames that you see right here, and replace them with what we call candy glass. It's almost made out of a pure sugar sucrose substance there. And you can actually eat candy glass if you ever get a chance, but I don't suggest you do it. It doesn't taste very good. But when candy glass breaks, there's no sharp edges. That way nobody can get cut or hurt in any way. And you'll be able to see a good example of candy glass in the Entertainment Center if you see the Western Stunt Show. They'll be breaking bottles on each other's heads. It's candy glass breakaway bottles, and there's no way anybody could get hurt. There's no sharp edges. But right now, if you look out to the driver's side of the tram, you're going to see this beige circular tank. Now, that's our underwater tank. We use it for underwater filming here at Universal. And we just recently used it last year for the motion picture Dragnet, starring Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd there. That's where they found that big underwater snake right there inside that tank here at Universal. Also, if you look out to my side of the tram, you're going to see this building. It says 468, number 468 on it. It's a soundstage. We call it our 747 soundstage because we have mock-up airplanes inside there. They were used in our airport movies, disaster movies back in the 60s. And also a lot of airlines will come out here and use them for their commercials because they're so realistic looking. We just recently used it about 2 weeks ago for a new production called The Twins. Or actually, it's just called Twins. It's going to be coming out a little bit in Christmas of 1988. It's going to be starring, if you haven't already heard, get this. It's your basic story about twins. And you figure, you know, they get separated. They're paternal twins. They get separated from birth, and they spend their whole life trying to find each other, and they find each other, and it's a big happy ending. But this is a comedy, and I'll tell you why. Think about the actors who are playing these two parts. Now, the one twin is going to be Danny DeVito, okay? So picture Danny DeVito in your mind. He's the first twin. And picture his brother, Arnold Schwarzenegger. What do you think about that? It's got a lot of possibilities there, very comedic there. It's going to be coming out in 1988, Christmas time. They've already finished the production of the film. They're in post-production right now. They should have it out right before Christmas. If you haven't already heard, we've done a lot of productions here at Universal. I just mentioned Fletch 2 a minute ago. That's once again starring Chevy Chase, Julianne Phillips. That's Bruce Springsteen's wife, if you didn't know that. And Lee Ermey. You might remember him from Full Metal Jacket. He played the sergeant in Full Metal Jacket. That'll be coming out in 1989, spring. Also, The Burbs. It's an Imagine production. That's going to be starring Tom Hanks, Carrie Fisher, Corey Feldman, Bruce Dern. It's directed by Joe Dante, the same man who directed Explorers and Gremlins. He also directed Inner Space last summer. That'll be coming out about the same time as Fletch 2 comes out. We've been filming that on the backlot. You're driving by where they were doing some locating film for that. And also, be prepared with Sully Long, which is coming to Soundstage 12 lately. But you might have noticed we never throw anything away here at Universal because we know that we can always use it again. Matter of fact, on my side of the tram, we have this old graveyard props. You might recognize some of these props. These Army vehicles here, we're using the motion picture MacArthur, starring Gregory Peck. And that shopping cart, well, Lily Tomlin said in that shopping cart in The Incredible Shrinking Woman. Also, this riverboat right here off to my side of the tram, it may look like a real riverboat, except for the fact that it looks a little old there. But actually, it's just a facade. We built it on the bed of this small lake. The only part that really moves is the paddle wheel in the back. Now, we originally built it for the Mississippi Gambler with Tyrone Power, but since then we've used it in Shenandoah with Jimmy Stewart, and we also used it in a TV series, Riverboat, starring Burt Reynolds. I know there's an interesting story that goes along. Now, these cobblestone streets are actually cement. Now, when the cement was wet, we placed it into these cobblestone molds, and you can feel the effects real good. We used this part of the back lot as Germany and Madam X with Lana Turner. We also used it quite extensively in Our Pride on the Western Front back in 1929. But if you look out to the driver's side of the tram, you can see that archway right there. You might recognize that because that's where Frankenstein first appeared in his first major motion picture. But back in the 30s and 40s, he became famous for our monster movies. We brought you Phantom of the Opera, Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Wolfman, and many, many others with such stars as Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney Jr. But if you thought those monster movies scared you folks, take a look out to the driver's side of the tram. You'll see some construction going on. That's home of Earthquake 88, the big one. Where get this, you can come back to Universal and experience an 8.3 on the Richter scale, and if you survive the quake, you got to survive the flood and the fire that goes along with it. That'll be opening November 1988 here. But right now, we're turning on to Mary and Michael Morrison Street. Well, actually, Mary and Michael Morrison changed his name to John Wayne, so we call this John Wayne Road. There's many things you want to look for. The next time you're watching Old Western, check out the doors. Now, if you look off to my side of the tram, you'll see that the doors on these buildings are a little bit smaller than usual. However, on the driver's side of the tram, they're a little bit larger than usual. Well, see, that's all movie-making magic here at Universal, because on my side of the tram, we filmed the Cowboys against those smaller doors, so they would appear to be bigger and brawnier than they actually were. And on the driver's side of the tram, we filmed the women against those large doors, so they would appear to be smaller and more petite. Also, on my side of the tram, we're passing the back of that livery stable where I filmed My Little Chickadee, but it's also where Francis the Talking Mule lived. And people always come up to me and say, Mike, how do they get Francis the Talking Mule to talk? Well, I'll let you in our little secret lab. People think we used a cattle prod. It's not how we did it at all. We used peanut butter. We put the peanut butter on the roof of the mule's mouth. He would try to lick it off. It looked like he was talking. Then we would add the voice of Actor Chill Wills a little bit later in post-production. We also used that same technique for Mr. Ed, the Talking Mule there. Also, if you look off towards the front of the tram off to my side, you go see these two very large pots, Pop Onion and this big Blue Ox Babe. You'll be able to catch that in the new production, The Great Outdoors, with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd as well. Once again, we're going to see the log cabin stuff in that a little bit later on the tour. And also on the driver's side of the tram, this house was used in DC Cab with Mr. T there. I know I see that in just a few moments, we're about to enter Amity Island from the motion picture Jaws, and we spotted that shark on this lake, but don't worry, folks, we're going to drive through there real quick, so get those cameras ready, we'll take real quick pictures. But you know, there's an interesting story that goes along with the filming of Jaws, and Steven Spielberg, he likes to go for a lot of realism, and he seems to have a problem getting women to scream correctly in his pictures. They were filming Jaws. Do you remember the character Chrissy? She's supposed to go out into the ocean, she's swimming, you know, it's kind of nighttime, and the shark attacks her, she's bobbing up and down in the water, and she's screaming, and you know, she's dying there, and well, they had these underwater divers, and they had ropes, actually there were cables tied to Chrissy, and they're supposed to pull on either cue, and they kept doing it over and over again, but they couldn't get her to scream right. And on one of the takes, both the divers got their cues mixed up, and they pulled at the same time, and this broke one of Chrissy's ribs. And did she scream? Boy, did she scream. And Steven Spielberg thought it was so real, he actually used that in the motion picture. So you see her screaming in the film. She's actually having one of her ribs broken there, folks. But right now, I see that... Whoa, wait a minute, Don. There's someone fishing out there. Sir, you're the red hat. I don't think you should be fishing out there. We spotted a shark. Uh-oh. Oh, no, sir, there's a shark. It's coming right for your boat. I suggest you die. Can you hear me, sir? Sir?
Oh, no, help, help, help!
I tried to warn him. What can you say? That's not very special. Let me tell you, folks, you've been trying to cross that shark here. University, where you pointed that yellow float right there in the lake. I don't know, you keep your cameras 8 towards that float, maybe that shark will take that bait. I sure hope so, Don. It's starting to kill my nerves. He's taking a bait. Wow, let me tell you, folks, one look next to you, look, the person is still sitting there that was here before. In this experience of Jaws animation, but come around the other side, you can see that Jaws is the only shark in the world that knows how to swim the backstroke, and that's actually one of the 3 sharks we used in the motion picture Jaws. Also, these 2 boats on the lake, the Orca and the Blue Boat with the hole in it on the other side of the lake we used in Jaws as well. The Orca was used by the 3 men throughout the film to chase the shark, and the Blue Boat with the hole in it on the other side of the lake belonged to the fisherman Ben Gardner. I might recall that scene where Richard Dreyfuss goes under the water to find the fisherman, and all he finds is his head inside that hole there. It's really creepy. But folks, you might also recognize this part of the back lot as Cabot Cove, Maine, from the hit CBS series Murder, She Wrote, starring Angela Lansbury. This part of the back lot doubles as both Cabot Cove and Amity Island. As I come up to the top of this hill up ahead, you want to look out to the driver's side of the tram. You're going to see a street goes down this hill with some houses on it. Those houses were used in a motion picture To Kill a Mockingbird. Once again, that starred Gregory Peck. Matter of fact, that greenhouse there was the home of the mysterious Boo Radley, played by Robert Duvall. Now, incidentally, that was Robert Duvall's first film debut, but since then he's gone on to win an Academy Award for his performance in Tender Mercies, where he played a country singer. And speaking of country singers, anybody ever heard of Dolly Parton? Well, if you look out to my side of the tram, you're going to see Miss Mother's Chicken Ranch from the best little whorehouse in Texas, starring Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds. But an interesting thing to know about this house is that it isn't just a facade and it's not an interior-exterior set. This is what we call a practical set. We have a full set of rooms inside this house. It opens up right down the middle like a dollhouse. We split it open, film all the interior scenes, and we close it up and film all the exterior scenes. Another interesting thing to know is that the inside of Miss Mother's Chicken Ranch is also the inside of the Cycle House in Side Door 3. You might want to check that out. But if you saw that street that comes around on the driver's side of the tram, that's where they've been filming The Burbs lately. It just finished filming that. Once again, that's starring Tom Hanks, Carrie Fisher, Corey Feldman, and Bruce Stern. I want to keep an eye out for that one, The Burbs. But this part of the back lot we call the wilderness area. Back in the early days in the studio, we used to have a zoo up here. We used all the animals in the zoo park, jungle and our western epics. We had lions and tigers and bears. Lions and tigers and bears. Elephants, lots of other animals there. And unfortunately, when sound came into motion pictures, we couldn't rely on the animals to be quiet, so we had to get rid of them. But occasionally you'll still see some deer running around up here. But you know, I know a lot of you from out of town, and we have a lot of hotels for you here. We have the Regent Suite, the Sheraton, and of course the Bates Motel, where you're going to check in, but you're never going to check out. If you look up on the driver's side of the tram, you're going to see the Bates Motel and the infamous Psycho House up on top of the hill there. Those are both used in the famous movie Psycho, filmed back in 1960, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Now, Alfred Hitchcock, he was always dubbed the master of suspense, but you know, he was also the master of eliciting the correct performances from his actors and his actresses. Some of you may recall that infamous shower scene where Janet Leigh's character is stabbed to death. That's actually the most violent scene in the motion picture, although the knife never touched flesh at all. But Alfred Hitchcock, he wanted to ensure that Janet Leigh had the right look of shock and horror on her face as she was about to be stabbed. So what he did was, on that exact moment on film, he instructed the technicians on the crew to shut off the warm water in the shower and blast Janet Leigh with the extreme cold of ice cold freezing water, and let me tell you, you can bet she had the right look of shock and horror on her face there. But right now, we're going to stop right here in front of the Bates Motel so you get a good picture-taking opportunity. I'm going to take a picture of the Psycho House as well. This is almost the same as that view the cameras got back in that house in 1960. It wasn't built where you see it right now in 1960. It was built where you see Miss Motors Chicken Ranch. Then we started filming the Best of Little House in Texas. We moved up here for Cycle 2 and Cycle 3. Also, if you look off to the driver's side of the tram, you're going to see that sign that says Fairville Estates. Now, you might remember that was the town that we used in Cycle 2 and Cycle 3, but you might also recognize that sign, folks, from Back to the Future. That's the same sign that Michael J. Fox wheels that DeLorean behind when he comes back to 1955 and he's trying to hide it there. We just had our set dressing department come out here and paint a different town name on the sign, and got us up a completely different era. Now, we're going to take you right by the Psycho House on the driver's side of the tram, so you want to make sure you grab those husband and wives, grab those boyfriend and girlfriends, because this is one creepy-looking place. As we get closer and closer, you might notice something peculiar about the house. It's a little smaller than it looked like on the screen. That's because we only built it to a 3/4 scale. That way, when Anthony Perkins is seen on the front steps of this house, he also appears to be bigger and more scarier than he actually was as well. Hey, sounds like they're throwing a party in there. Why aren't we invited, darn? I don't know. Well, folks, as soon as you take pictures of the Psycho House, you want to twirl those cameras around to my side of the tram. We have a very historical house coming up. This brick front house with the green shutters. If you haven't already figured out what it is, it's Beaver Cleaver's and his family's house from the Leave It to Beaver series. It may look a little different than it did in the 60s. That's because where they've been filming the Burbs is where the Beaver usually lives. Now that they've finished filming the Burbs, they're going to move the Beaver's house right back where it belongs within the next couple of days. And I don't think he likes living next door to the Bates here, party animals. But if you look off to the driver's side of the tram, you're going to see that log cabin with a waterfall with a lake next to it. I promised it to you. There it is. That's where we filmed The Great Outdoors with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. Filmed most of it right here on the back lot. Also did some filming in Soundstage number 12. And we also did some on-location filming in Bass Lake, California. Now, we used Bass Lake, California as a small Wisconsin lake for The Great Outdoors, but we couldn't get all the filming done out there. So I had to come back to our back lot and do some more filming on our man-made lake right back out here. As we come around this corner up ahead, you look out to my side of the tram, you get a good view of that lake. It has this huge backdrop behind it. That's the largest backdrop ever constructed for a motion picture, and we built it for the movie Jaws: The Revenge. This time, it's personal. That was the fourth in the series of Jaws movies. We filmed the climactic scenes where the shark kills everybody on the boat on this small lake on my side of the tram. Now, the backdrop is supposed to simulate the Bahamas skies, and it may look fake to you right now, folks, but if you take your hand, roll it up into a little fist with a hole at the end, you see sort of how it looked like on the screen there if you look through that little hole. Now, it's very convincing. It'll even look more convincing if we had some sunlight out there. We had to paint the backdrop to look like the Bahamas sky. That's where the rest of the production took place. And we also had to dye the waters to look bohemian. Now, that posed a little problem for the actors there, because every time Michael Caine came out of the water, his hair kept turning more blue and more blue, and I don't think he liked that very much. But you know, we also used this part of the back lot for cutaway shots of John Carpenter's The Thing. We put white sheets over this field you see here, and put that same polyethylene material on top of those sheets. And speaking of the Antarctica, I see we're coming up towards the highest point of the trail here today. We're in timberline over 10,000 feet above sea level. I see some snow on my side of the ground. Looks like Indian snow. A patchy here, a patchy there. It's a good thing. It's getting a little too hot for me. It's about time to get a chill. We're going to have to go to this ice tunnel up ahead, and I don't want to scare anybody, but occasionally we have avalanches in this ice tunnel. So did everybody sign those waiver forms at the beginning of the tour? Oh, God. They didn't sign the waiver forms. Okay, I'll tell you what. When we go through here, everybody be quiet. Nobody cough. Nobody sneeze. Try to inhibit your breathing if you possibly can. If we start an avalanche, Don and I will get in a lot of trouble. Repeat, Don and I will get in a lot of trouble. And also, if you feel like you're going to fall, well, just close your eyes. You know, make sure you keep your arms on the side of the tram at all times. We're paused here for a few moments because you know it's... Okay, we're moving now. We had some icy roadways up ahead. We don't want to lose control of the tram and kill all 135 of us. So, pretty rough. Room a day here. I heard the one you said, Don. Oh no, who sneezed back there? Oh no, not this again. Wait a minute, stop. Oh good, my stomach. I don't know if I get... Oh no. It's going the other way. How about you? But it's experienced another special effect called Century. I'll use that same effect in motion picture Earthquake. Actually, the tram is moving perfectly straight. The walls around us were revolving. But if you look onto my side of the tram and get a good picture, take an opportunity where we film Jaws of Revenge, you might notice a gap between the backdrop and the actual water in the lake. As we purposely put that there so we can give off the illusion that there's an horizon in the distance on film. Also, you get your last picture, take an opportunity onto my side of the tram with the backline here at Universal. You might notice Burbank Studios in the distance. That's home to Warner Brothers and Columbia Productions. Just behind that is the Disney Studios, and just behind that is the NBC Studios, where Johnny Carson tapes the Tonight Show. And let me tell you, folks, this is the same exact view that E.T. got when he started his journey here on the planet Earth. And E.T. is a shining example of movie-making magic here at Universal. But right now, we're going to drop you off the Entertainment Center so you can experience some more movie-making magic. We have 5 live shows waiting for you. We have the Animal Actor Stage, the Miami Vice Action Spectacular, the Western Stunt Show, the Adventures of Conan, Sword Sorcery Spectacular, and of course the all-new Star Trek Adventure, where you can actually be beamed aboard the Starship Enterprise with Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock. Might also want to partake in some of our special events at the Entertainment Center, such as the Kit Car, where you can sit in the front seat of the Kit Car, talk to them. It's a great time. You toss right back.
Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos a los estudios Universal y el espectáculo de la serie más popular en la actualidad, Miami Vice. Como los explosivos que pertenecen a los efectos especiales de esta función son reales, por favor, permanezcan sentados a todo momento atrás de la reja de seguridad. Los actos con vehículos especiales de esta función contienen mucho riesgo y peligro, por lo tanto, son hechos por dobles de experiencia profesional. Por favor, no atenten ninguno de los actos que van a ver hoy. Muchas gracias y esperamos que ustedes disfruten del espectáculo de hoy.
And cut! Nice job, guys. Ladies and gentlemen.
Have it done. It's slid to the bottom.
Shut up. Show her mama spent most of her time on a vacation. Just.
Things are too bad for her to come out all the way outside and check.
That's, well,
More truth to fiction, stuff like this.
That's right. Sunday, all it did was ruin the paper.
The boy didn't leave it in plastic then.
No, he didn't. You have to pay extra for that.
No kidding?
No kidding.
Well, you don't have any insurance that they're going to do it right, but normally if it comes out, this is in Tulsa for Tulsa paper too. We get it delivered in a paper. I mean in a wax paper. If they miss it, you can't draft any.
That's right.
But they say
well, usually
4 times out of 5 they'll have it in wax paper. If it's raining.
If it's a good rain, but then got it out there and it wasn't raining, and then it rained for about 20 minutes and soaked the paper and quit.
Yeah.
Get some footage. Hey, you have to do it. Do it. Footage.
That wasn't bad. That's not bad.
Libby, did you get any fruit yet? I put some. Did you put it
I put it in the bag, whatever you had there, but I don't know what you had.
I had a peach and some grapes.
I made a bigger bag. Is that a bigger bag?
No, but you take 2 bags.
And we got extra peach.
No, Richard.
I didn't start with anybody. Thank you.
See, you heard the water running. Water running. No. No. I'm sorry. No, son. You want to play with your kitchen? You play over there. Richard, Granddad's taking movies and reacting some water.
Any of this?
No. Stop. All right, now. Calm down and dry off. Come here. Dry your face.
It's a whole new ball game, isn't it?
You going to help Mommy dry the floor?
Look at there.
Help Mommy dry the floor.
Mommy has more than 2.
Dry the floor.
It's a whole new ball game.
That's a boy. That's
Yeah.
a boy. That's a
That was more fun than having
Now you go play toys.
a fit at the park. Look at there.
Go play toys. Go play toys. You're not going to do this. Absolutely not. No. You want more water in the face? Come on, get up. Get up. Where's Richard? Where's Richard? Where's Richard? No. No. You want to do it again? Don't do it. No. You don't want to act that way. You don't want any water
There's a typical Vancouver, British Columbia scene. All the flowers and all the women. We're not there really to look at the sights. We're just there to get everybody out of the car so it can quit overheating. Things were real pretty here. This is the Rose Garden in Portland, and you can see I'm busy. I know it's going to close for too long. I've got to figure out where the restrooms are. What a bird, what a bird. She still doesn't know what kind of bird it is. I got a close-up here. I tried to get rid of as much gut for these two people as I could, but sometimes it's kind of a worthless task.